Annie Oakley. Annie Oakley was born in a small Ohio town. As soon as she could lift her daddy's hunting rifle, he was teaching her to shoot. When her daddy died, her mama was left in an awful way. She had a hard time feeding Annie and the other children. Annie saw how hard her mama was working and decided to help. She picked up her daddy's rifle and went hunting. The first day, she brought home more fat pheasants than she could carry. Her family never went hungry again. Little Annie became the best hunter in the county right quick. She started selling the extra food to the people around town and giving food to those who couldn't afford it. This went on for years until a man named Frank Butler came to town. He was a sharp shooter and he put on quite a show of shooting targets. At the end of his show, he asked the crowd if they knew anyone who was a better shot. The town's people said they knew of one person and sent someone off to fetch Annie. When Frank saw short Annie, who was skinny enough to hide behind a cornstalk, he laughed. Is this the best you've got? Frank asked. The townspeople said yes, and he just smiled. All right then. Since a lady is challenging me, I'll let her pick the contest. Shooting cards, and he said proudly. Are you sure? Frank replied. I'm the best card shooter in the West. And he nodded and said, we'll be shooting cards at the way, edgewise. Frank went first. A boy set up 5 playing cards in little notches on a fence so the edges faced Frank. From where Frank stood, they were all but invisible. He took a deep breath and fired. He hit 3 cards, one through the middle and the tops of 2 others. And he stepped up, a small smile on her face. She asked the boy to set up cards on 2 fences opposite each other, and his hands moved like lightning, and the gunshots were thunder. She thought the cards in front of her clean and half with barely a thought. Then she put out a mirror and showed the cards behind her from over her shoulder. Annie had won, and Frank asked her to come on the road with him. Annie started making a name for herself as the best shot in the West. People would toss pennies and dimes in the air at her shows. She was fast enough to shoot everyone before it hit the ground. Any coin shot by any Oakley would immediately quintuple in value. Once a man became rich by throwing a bundle, a sliver dollars in the air, and he shot each one before it hit the ground. Buffalo Bill's Wild West show was the biggest show in the world. Buffalo Bill heard to the lady sharpshooter and had to see her talent for himself. He took the famous Lakota chief steering bull with him to one of Annie's shows. That was good, but not good enough for my show. Buffalo Bill told Annie afterward, "Show me something amazing." Sitting Bull pointed to a speck high in the sky, and he took aim and shot. The speck flew on, and Buffalo Bill shook his head and started to walk away, walk away. Wait! And Sitting Bull. A few minutes passed, and a single tail feather from a large eagle drifted down. There was a bullet hole in the middle. S- Sitting Bull was so impressed that he named her Little Sure Shot. Buffalo Bill nodded and said, "What else have you got?" And he climbed a nearby hill, kneeled, aimed, and fired. Then she kept firing again and again, always in the same direction. They came down the hill smiling. "What are you shooting at?" Buffalo Bill asked. "You'll see," and he said. Buffalo Bill and Sitting Bull said their goodbyes and started the long journey back to the Wild West Show's tents. They rode for almost a week before they saw the camp next to a large butter. As they came closer, Buffalo Bill saw a message on the butter. It was an address carved by Annie's bullets. Buffalo Bill sent a telegram to the address inviting Annie Oakley to join the Wild West show. She did and went on to do even three greater feats all over the world. They said they even made some new stunts by shooting holes in the sky, but that's another tale.